No woman can hide what her body feels after anal sex, even if she smiles, changes the subject, or pretends indifference. Her physiology betrays her. The blood flow in her pelvis remains altered for almost an hour. Her breathing takes time to stabilize, and her brain stays in a semi-trance state similar to deep meditation. That's not a coincidence. It's emotional biology. And I assure you, 97% of men have no idea what truly happens inside a woman's body and mind after doing it from behind. Today, you're going to understand everything, without taboos, with respect, and with the honesty that science deserves. The first reaction happens in less than 5 seconds. During anal penetration, 3 major nerve networks activate at once: the pudendal nerve, the vagus nerve, and the pelvic plexus. This triple connection triggers a unique response, a mix of pleasure, tension, and a deep emotional release. The vagus nerve, for example, connects directly to the heart and the limbic system, the area of the brain where the deepest emotions are born. That's why, even when the experience is physically intense, the body also interprets it emotionally. It's not just a physical act, it's a neurological language between 2 systems learning to synchronize. And here's something that surprises even doctors. The female body can release dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin simultaneously, a chemical combination so powerful that scientists compare it to a trance state. That's why many women, even those who initially feel fear or resistance, later describe a sensation of calm or profound well-being. It's not about immediate pleasure, but about internal release, a kind of emotional exhale that the brain translates as connection. The second curiosity involves the skin. The female anal area has one of the highest concentrations of pressure and temperature receptors in the entire body. This sensitivity isn't designed solely for pain, as many believe, but to send precise signals to the nervous system. When she feels safe, those signals turn into pleasure. When she feels invaded, the same mechanism becomes defense. That's why there's no pleasure without trust, and no real arousal without calm. Her body literally needs to feel safe to open. And here's the fascinating part. When that happens, her pleasure threshold multiplies. Studies show that the intensity of muscle contractions and heart response can double compared to vaginal sex. But there's something even more powerful. During the minutes that follow, the female brain enters a theta wave state, the same neurological pattern seen in dreams or hypnosis. In that state, time disappears. Her body can no longer distinguish between pleasure and emotional connection, between stimulation and surrender. That kind of surrender cannot be faked. Her biology exposes it. Scientists call this the emotional vascular echo. After the act, her temperature, circulation, and muscle tension remain elevated for more than 40 minutes. That's why, even when everything seems over, her skin still reacts, her breathing slows, and her mind continues to vibrate. Many women prefer to stay silent or close their eyes afterward. They're not avoiding the moment, they're processing it. Her brain is consolidating an experience that combines pleasure, vulnerability, and emotional memory. This explains something most men misunderstand. After anal sex, most women don't want to talk. They want to integrate what they just felt. Her limbic system is flooded with oxytocin, the same hormone that creates love and attachment. So when the experience is positive and respectful, the emotional bond can deepen. It's not dependence or magic. It's neurochemistry. The body translates the physical into the emotional, and the brain stores it as a feeling of connection. So think about this. How much do you believe trust influences a woman's pleasure? Leave your answer in the comments with a number from 1 to 10. Because in the second part of this video, I'll reveal the deeper psychological and emotional effects of this practice. What changes in her mind, her desire, and her way of connecting afterward? Here's a hint. What the body feels, the mind never forgets. What most men don't realize is that after anal sex, a woman's body doesn't just change on the outside, it changes on the inside. Her nervous system enters a temporary phase of reorganization. The brain regions responsible for empathy, attachment, and emotional memory, like the amygdala and hippocampus, activate in a way similar to when someone receives a declaration of love or a long embrace. That's why, even when the experience is physical, the female mind interprets it as emotional. It doesn't matter if it happened once or within a relationship. Her brain registers it as a form of deep intimacy. The second reaction happens along the hormonal axis. In the minutes that follow, the body releases a unique cocktail: oxytocin, prolactin, and endorphins. Oxytocin reinforces emotional bonding, prolactin induces calm and satisfaction, and endorphins create a total sense of well-being. That combination explains why some women feel tenderness afterward, or even a need for closeness. It's not weakness or romanticism. It's an inevitable biological response. The female body is wired to associate pleasure with attachment, and if the experience was respectful, that attachment becomes trust. If it was invasive or painful, it turns into withdrawal. But there's an even deeper level, the psychological one. During this kind of encounter, many women experience a profound sense of vulnerability. It's not only about an exposed body, but about surrendering control completely. When that surrender occurs in a safe environment, the mind learns something valuable. It can trust. And that emotional lesson leaves a lasting mark on how she experiences pleasure, communicates, and connects with others. However, if the experience was negative, the body records that vulnerability as a threat, leading to rejection, anxiety, or even emotional dissociation. That's why context, respect, and intention matter so much. Female pleasure isn't about technique, it's about safety. Here's a fact very few know. The anus and vagina share a muscular wall. That means that during anal stimulation, pressure and contraction reflect through the vaginal canal, activating internal pleasure receptors. In other words, the female body reacts in a chain. That's why, even without direct contact, many women report deep or multiple sensations. It's not suggestion, it's anatomy. And when emotional trust is present, that response multiplies. The brain interprets every sensation as a sign of surrender, not defense. There's also an interesting reaction in the heart rate. Studies from Rutgers University have shown that during a female anal orgasm, blood flow to the brain increases by up to 30% more than during vaginal sex. This creates a feeling of mental clarity and renewed energy afterward. It's not just pleasure. It's a physical and emotional awakening. Some women describe this state as a mix of calm and power, as if their body had discovered a new way of knowing itself. And if you wonder why some women want to repeat it while others don't, the answer lies in their bodily history. Every past experience, every relationship, every memory influences how their nervous system processes sensation. When practiced in a context of trust and communication, the brain associates it with safe pleasure. But if guilt, fear, or shame are present, that same experience activates the stress circuit. That's why no two reactions are the same. There is no universal truth. The female body cannot be labeled. It reacts according to the emotion that accompanies it. And here's something worth pausing for. Many men believe the secret lies in the physical, in the technique, the rhythm. But what truly transforms the experience is attention. Attention is the real aphrodisiac. When a man observes his partner's signals, how she breathes, moves, calms, her body responds differently. That synchrony creates feedback that the brain interprets as union. And that's where the most powerful moment happens. Pleasure stops being something you chase and becomes something you share. Now, reflect with me. What do you think matters more in female pleasure? Technique or emotional connection? Write it in the comments, because what you say will help us understand how much we truly know, or how much we still ignore, about the real nature of desire. This channel isn't just information. It's a space to learn what few dare to explain, with science and respect. And before closing, I'll leave you with an idea many men don't understand. When a woman feels pleasure, her body doesn't just get aroused, it heals. Blood flow cleans tissues, endorphins reduce pain, and oxytocin strengthens the heart. Pleasure isn't superficial, it's health. And anal sex, when practiced consciously, can be one of the most intense and healing experiences that exist. Not because of the act itself, but because of the trust it requires and the connection it awakens. If you'd like me to explore in the next video what happens in her body in the hours that follow, how her temperature, energy, and desire change, write the word body in the comments. Because what's coming next isn't just information, it's revelation. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and share this video. Conscious sexual education begins here, where science meets emotion and respect meets desire.